Okay. Um, I saw that. Sorry. I saw that Kiana Naomi made a video, and her video is talking about how she's afraid to move to New York. Well, that was the title of the video, but that's when I saw the video. It actually doesn't really talk about that at all. It actually just kind of talks about, it demonstrates on camera her bout with depression, or what's a better way to put this? The ebbs and flows of the highs and lows of her personal mental health journey. That's what I see happening, which I also want to contextualize here. It's a very normal thing. Like, I don't see anything abnormal about um what she's going through, what she's talking about. It is just kind of like a very normal part of, womanness, living in the world. And also, I think this video is worth talking about because wherever you live in the world, it is going to be difficult. Whatever life that you have, it's going to be difficult. And what I mean by that is, like, not that every second and every day is going to be so painstakingly hard that you can't get out of bed and that you don't want to face it, but every day you will have some sort of like challenge, like some small hurdle and large hurdle. I think that it's very difficult for Black women sometimes because we have just so many hurdles all at the same time, and we aren't really given any grace to like move through them. And there's just some expectation that we're just going to be able to go, and that is just not the case. Like, you definitely need periods of downtime where you aren't having a struggle, and that you're just really able to like sit with and think about the way that you are currently experiencing the world. And I appreciate seeing a little Black American girl going through that. I think that that is fascinating. I would love to see kind of more of this side of Kiana Naomi. It's one of the reasons that I really appreciate her as a creator. So I hope that she continues to go in that direction. Um, I think that I think it's probably a positive thing for her to move to New York with no plan, because she will definitely struggle in her own way. I've said this before and I'll say it again, but social class is very real, and the cost of living in, I think she's from Texas, is relatively cheap compared to New York. And even if you are a, content creator with a lot of followers, like she's almost at like 1 million followers. This is great. Like, I have no idea, like how much money she makes from content creation or what. Like, I truly and honestly don't know. The point is, though, there are certain places, like New York is definitely one of them, and LA is like another, where people have a lot of money. And the new money that you have doesn't really even come close to touching the old money. That's not saying your new money is meaningless. I'm definitely not saying that. But I am saying sometimes you kind of need to be humbled in that way, where you sort of start to like normalize averageness. There are a lot of wealthy Black girls. There's a nice amount of like Kerry Washington types in New York, right? Like, we're reading Thicker Than Water now, which is about Kerry Washington, who grew up in New York, okay? And it's telling a story of a middle class Black girl. A middle class Black girl from New York is not the same as a middle class Black girl from Texas, but that's another thing we can table and unpack on another day. I'm just really excited to unpack more stories that are about the complexity of Black life in America. Just a notable feature here, I saw that Kelly Stamps moved out of Los Angeles and went to Texas and came out as a Christian, which I thought was very interesting. I was gonna make a whole video about that, and I might, but I maybe like to script that one. I also saw that Khadijah made a very interesting video that was about it was basically being very critical of Amy Schumer and how she is kind of reacting in this very, she's kind of on the defense, right, about her political stance as a Jewish woman, and it's I understand the way that some, not all, the way that some Jewish people, especially Jewish women right now, are feeling like attacked and marginalized, and they're questioning so many parts of their identity, because the big question that a lot of what I seem to hear from the community is the sentiment of like, why doesn't anyone care? Why doesn't anyone care? And the thing is, like, I think that there's a lot, not in a shady way, and I'm not trying to say this to come from like a brutally racist place. I'm saying it in this very honest way because I've had to deal with this my entire life. Like, as a black woman, you will continuously ask yourself, like, why am I struggling in this way? And other women who are not black are not struggling in this way. And I'm having like, there's just, it's like struggle on top of struggle on top of struggle on top of struggle. And you look around, you look to the left and the right, and nobody has a solution, mostly because like society doesn't have a solution. Like, society is the problem, but also society is the solution. And unfortunately, you have to live with the other people. You have to. So it's like you have to find some type of way to deal with the drudgery and move forward. And it can be awful, really. It can be really rough. Um, and so to hear that sentiment coming from a group that of non-black women is like a first, especially coming from a group of maybe almost white women, right? Jewish people are white, a lot of them. Um, but I think it's that shock and awe, and that's in the other video when I talked about the Nashville mass shooter. Intersectionality, man, is a really weird thing. It's like battle. It's like multiple forms of an identity battling each other. I'm actually not gonna cover this, but I will give a highlight of what I'm thinking about. It's very difficult when you don't have the gender roles clearly, and I mean very clearly defined. Like, women are become mothers, and they, do these things in society, and they can be feminine in these ways that are biological. But when you have dehumanized a group of women, say black women, right? So then you've taken away their femininity, but they have all the biological aspects of the femininity. So like they have the wombs, they have the periods, they have the children, they're doing literally the mothering things. Some of them have the husbands, the houses, the cars. But you say like, oh no, 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 because you're not the same human that we are. You are something else. You are something else. It takes away the meaning of the things. It's like when they keep telling us all that everyone has beauty. Everyone is beautiful. No, they're not. We don't find beauty in everyone. Everyone is not equal. We're not on like an equal playing field. What we have right now is like capitalism and a system where like some people, maybe through greed, through brute force, through murder, colonialism, whatever it was, some intellect, right, technology, all these ways that some people were just able to get ahead. They got ahead, and now that they've gotten ahead, they are ahead. And it isn't necessarily this like awful thing to be like, I don't think we should throw rocks at them or like take them out or anything. Like, I don't feel like that. But I think that like because they have so much more, because of the capitalism, because of the access and opportunity, like they can do more things that some of us cannot do, and the rest of us like have to live. I don't want to sit here and be that person that's like, well, YouTube is all we have, but I mean, we don't really have like that much left. These like very small spaces where we can come and like communicate with one another and share these like ideas that don't have much to do with like the outside forces of like media propaganda and Hollywood nonsense. I think we have to appreciate those spaces, and we have to we have to value them, put them also on a pedestal. Anyway, I just wanted to give some space for Kiana's video because I thought it was great. I thought it was great, like always. I think a lot of her stuff is great. Um, yeah, yeah.